10 feet from his own. The miller's daughter had a bed quite near in the same room, and they were to sleep all side by side, for there was no other chamber in the house. And so they supped, and talked, and had a fine carouse, and drank a lot of ale. It was midnight before they finally went to rest, and the miller's head was thick with drink. He'd passed the stage of red. To bed he went with his wife, who was also jolly with the drink. They placed the cradle at the foot of the bed, lest the baby should wake in the night. By and by, the daughter went too, and at last, our John and Anne. No sleeping draught was needed here. Simpkin snored like a cart horse in his sleep, and soon his wife joined the chorus along with the wench. In the midst of all this melody, Alan gave John a poke and said,
Wait. Benedictine, did you ever hear such a song?
Oh, the devil take their souls for it. I'll never get any rest.
Never mind about that. It'll be for the best. I tell you, John, as sure as I'm a man, I'm gonna swive yon wenchie there.
What?
There is a law that says, if in one point a man should be aggrieved, in another shall he be relieved. That miller has stolen our corn, and the law is good enough for me. By God's soul it shall be so.
Be careful, brother. That miller is a terror indeed. If he should wake and find you with his daughter, he might do injury to you, and to me.
Injury? I cannot flee.
Alan got up and crept towards the bed in which the miller's daughter lay. He was so close by the time she awoke she had no time to cry out. To put it briefly, they were soon at one.
Bloody joke! What a chance to miss! Alan has some comfort for his harms. He's found it in the miller's daughter's arms. Now his needs are met while I'm a sack of rubbish here in this bed. I'll get up and take what chance I may, for God helps them that helps themselves, as they say.
John got up and crept towards the cradle which he laid beside his bed. The miller's wife was waking, and she rose and left the room, only to return and grope for the cradle which she had laid beside her bed. At last she found it, and fumbled for the bed, for it was dark, and got in.
Oh, Lord, I nearly went astray and got into that student's bed. Oh, how dreadful. That would have been foul doings indeed. Oh, what a bedful.
John waited for a while, and then gave a leap and thrust himself upon this worthy wife.
Oh, it was the merriest fit in all her life.
For John was thrusting away like mad.
The jolly night's rival, lad.
Until the morning cock began to sing. Now, Alan grew tired, for he had been hard at work the long, long night.
Farewell, sweet Molly. Dawn has come. I cannot linger here. But rest assured, my dear, always I shall be your one true clerk. Or strike me dead.
Goodbye, my sweet, but first take heed. For behind the mill door you will find a half bushel of your own flour that my father stole.
Alan got up and thought it best to get back into bed beside John. But he found the cradle in his way and thought to himself,
By God, I nearly went astray. That must be the miller and his wife in there. Curse that wretched ale.
Back he went to the bed in which the miller lay, and, thinking it was John inside the bed, he grabbed him by the neck and shook him and said,
Shake yourself, you pig's head, and listen. Oh, such noble games as I have had. I tell you, listen, James. 3 times this night from midnight to morn, the miller's daughters helped me grind my corn. I've just been lying in bed in your usual cowardly way.
"You scoundrel! What's that you say? Filthy rat! God's dignity, I'll murder you for that! How dare you be so bold as to fling mud at my daughter? Born of noble blood! The miller grabbed at Alan and broke his mouth and nose, and they struggled all around the room. At last, the miller slipped and fell down backwards on his wife. She started out of her sleep.
Help! Holy Cross and from home keep us! Oh, the devil's among us! Help, Simpkin, help! Nasty clerks are fighting!
John got up and began to grope all around for a stick. The miller's wife knowing all the corners better than them all, was first to find one leaning by a wall. And through a hole in the thatch she could see, and she caught a glimpse of something white, which she believed to be Alan's nightcap. Thus, it was her fate to strike the mirror on his shining pate.
Oh, God! I'm dying!
The clerks left him lying and threw on their gowns, taking with them 3 sacks of the miller's ground corn, along with the cake the miller's daughter had made. And thus, the bumptious miller was well beaten, and done out of the supper that he had eaten, and done out of the money that he was due, for grinding Alan's corn, who beat him too. His wife was plumb, so was his daughter, look. That's what comes of being a miller. Tricksters will get a tricking, so say I. And God that sits in majesty on high, bring all this company, great and small, to glory. Thus, I paid out the miller with my story.
The miller was paid out in proper fashion. Yet the devil that makes a preacher of a Reeve turns cobblers into doctors, I believe. Now, when